the actual announcement of the top speed of the C8 Z06 Z07 package-equipped car. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Fred's Full Throttle. Each week I'm going to take you with me on my adventures in the world of cars. So first I wanted to mention that with the release of my last couple videos about the C8 Z06 and the reservation process, I've had at least 6 people reach out saying that they had actually put in a reservation at McMulkin specifically because they had seen the videos that I had done about the car and about my experience. I'm humbled, and that blows my mind, so thank you very much for reaching out. I've also been really enjoying all the comments. I do my best to try to respond to all of them. I'm a small YouTuber, so if you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing. Let's get into it. So the first thing, and I think this is really cool, is that Chevy is going to be doing a C8 Z06 dealer tour. You may recall that they did something very similar with the C8 when that first came out. They basically took the car on a road show, going to a bunch of the larger dealerships across the country, giving people a chance to see the car in person before they actually decided if they wanted to place an order. Now granted, we're in the situation where everybody's got reservations in already, but most of us haven't seen the car, myself included. I've certainly been enjoying looking around on YouTube and finding videos that people have posted of the car, but I haven't had a chance to see one myself. That's going to change. Chevy hasn't yet announced which dealers are going to get the car or what the schedule is, but there's already been some rumblings online of a dealership saying that they're going to have the car in April. And so I would imagine sometime around the beginning of the year, Chevy's going to be announcing both the dealerships as well as when you can go see the car. So I'm really excited for that. So one of the best parts from when Chevy did the C8 dealer tour is that they also brought along a bunch of aspects of the car separately to display in addition to the car itself. I went to McMulkin myself to see the car, and they had swatches of all the different paint colors. They had the different brake calipers. They had the 2 different steering wheels that you could get, all the different seat options, the wheels. They had everything all together so that you could look at the car and some of its components, figure out what you actually liked and how you were going to potentially spec one yourself. Now, I didn't end up getting a C8, but I did get a chance to sit in one. I was very impressed with the car, and it was really cool to be able to just see all of the different aspects in person. Now, I know most of us have been living vicariously through the online configurator tool, and that's been pretty great, but the quality of the images aren't nearly as good as a photograph, and especially not as good as seeing the car in real life. So I'm really excited about that. As soon as I have the dates or any other information about that, I'll be sharing it soon. All right, so groundbreaking news, there might be a fast food connection to the C8 Z06. All right, maybe that's not exactly true. However, 2 recent sightings have shown a C8 Z06 with the Z07 package actually at 2 different fast food establishments in Kentucky near the plant. So the photos from the first encounter, which is a Matrix Gray C8 Z06 with Z07 package, was at a Wendy's in Bowling Green. And more recently, somebody posted a video of the same exact car at the drive-through for a Taco Bell in Bowling Green. Both of these let us actually see the car in daylight rather than studio lights or a film production set, which I think really helped give you a better sense of how the car looks in real life. And it also gives you a sense of how big the car is, how it's going to look, how the extra width that's added on, how that impacts the overall look of the car. So I thought that was pretty cool. Also, they have a penchant for some pretty tasty food. While we're on the subject of cars being seen out and about, one of the recent things that came to light just at the end of this past week was 2 colors that had not been previously seen on the car. Credit to YouTuber Sirrynoz. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but they were driving around and they happened to see a car carrier in a parking lot. When they went over and inspected what was on the car carrier, they actually saw that there was a whole bunch of C8 Corvettes, as well as at least 2 Z06s. Now, 2 of these Z06s were not under a cover. They were actually just open on the top deck of the carrier. Now, the cool part about that is that both of these cars were colors that had not previously been seen at any of the unveilings or kind of the promotional tour stuff that Chevy has been doing. The first is an Arctic White C8 Z06 with a Z07 package. You can see it's got the 5-spoke carbon wheels. It's got the high wing. And as they pan by, you get a good sense of how it looks, though certainly the lighting wasn't great, and they didn't really linger on the cars. They just sort of panned by. The second that I'm actually a little bit more excited about was they had an Elkhart Lake Blue Metallic car, and it's not a Z07. It's actually the regular Z06, but it does have the high wing. You can just make it out in the footage. And as they panned by, it really looked good, even in the minimal lighting that they had. Now, what's interesting is a couple different news outlets had picked up, hey, this footage is out there and exists. But what's really funny is that everybody was focusing on one of the 2 videos that this YouTuber had posted. The first video, and the one that's made all the rounds, is from the back, and it's sort of panning by the cars. I went to the YouTuber's channel, I looked, I was like, maybe they have another video. Sure enough, they have a video from the front, so you actually can see the front, just briefly, of the Elkhart Lake blue metallic car. I think it looks really, really good, and especially I like the standard Z06 wheels in black. I hadn't really been considering that. The machine face looked pretty cool, but the black actually looked really good with the blue, so we're going to have to see how that looks in real-world conditions. Now, the thing is that since this is headed somewhere, and obviously these were uncovered, I bet you within a week or so, we're going to start seeing a lot better pictures of these showing up as they do promotional rounds or as they end up at dealerships for people to see. So keep an eye out, but this is the first that I've actually seen these two colors. All right, and so the biggest news that I have, and I don't know how no one else has really seemed to pick up on this, is the actual announcement of the top speed of the C8 Z06 Z07 package-equipped car. It's on a YouTube video that's been widely circulated. A lot of people have seen it, and I have not seen any of those million other channels that are doing coverage of the Z06 actually mention it. So the information comes from YouTuber Doug Demuro and his channel, and he actually got an opportunity to have special access to a C8 Z06 with the Z07 package and do kind of his whole quirks and features analysis of the car. Now what's interesting is that he was able to get the top speed from Chevy for a Z07 equipped car. He says that at top speed, the Z07 packaged car makes 734 pounds of downforce, which incidentally is more than any Corvette has ever made. But here's the key figure. He said that that top downforce is created at the top speed of the car, which makes sense.
That's delivered at the maximum speed for this car, 186 miles an hour, which is also a pretty impressive figure.
And that top speed that he quotes is 300 kilometers per hour or 186 miles per hour. Now that's really interesting. There have been a number of YouTubers speculating about the car being a 200 mile per hour plus capable car. And that's probably not far from the truth. However, the Z07, Chevy has already admitted that the car isn't the best suited for the drag strip. That high wing, those dive planes, doesn't necessarily translate to faster times on a drag strip. My money would be on that the standard car without all that extra aero that might be adding additional drag is going to be close to 200 miles per hour, maybe just over, like 201, 202. But the Z07 car, Doug is quoting as saying 186 miles an hour. So that's a pretty big bombshell. And other than Doug mentioning it in his video, I haven't seen anybody talking about it. I haven't seen it on other YouTube channels. It's interesting. Chevy's actually provided a lot of information to some of the bigger YouTubers out there. However, in the deluge of information that they're providing, people have been missing some of those points. But if I can do it from here in New Hampshire without access to the car, I'm really excited to see what I find out when I do get access. So as always, I'm going to try to find what the truth of information is about the car rather than just saying whatever people are speculating about. And I'm only really going to share things that actually have a source or video evidence of something being true. So hopefully you found this interesting, and I appreciate any support. If you could give me a subscribe, that would really help. I'm a small YouTuber. I don't make any money off of this, but I'm doing it because I have a passion for cars, and I'm really excited about the C8 Z06. So until next time, Fred out.